So, who is the Masked Man? Well, that should be simple enough. It's Obito. But the Masked Man debuts around chapter 280, and his identity is finally revealed at chapter 600, more than 300 chapters later. So my question is, was the Masked Man always meant to be Obito, or was he retconned to be so? In this video, I'll go over the various identities taken by the Masked Man before he reveals his true identity, and go over any inconsistencies with his character. Now this guy is truly the master of disguise, or he's got a lot of undiagnosed mental illnesses, as he's got two separate identities prior to having his true identity revealed, that being the goofy Tobi and the frightening Madara Uchiha. First, let me debunk this one misconception that I find a lot of people use, that being that Tobi, during his early appearances, was not actually Obito, but was a white Zetsu clone named Guru or Swirly Zetsu, whose face actually resembles Obito's mask, and his attitude is similar to Obito's playful and wacky Tobi persona. Even when he was playing the fool, Obito was still able to use Kamui against Sasuke when he was with Deidara and against the new Sasuke rescue team. As the true leader of the Akatsuki, Obito wanted to throw everyone off of that, so he decided to hide in plain sight by pretending to be a goofy character that no one would take seriously. Swirly Zetsu probably inspired the character he created, and based on the fact that he switches to his Madara persona in an instant, it wouldn't make much sense that this character was just a white Zetsu all along. Unless you think that Swirly Zetsu would sometimes take his place, and sometimes Obito himself would play the character, for which there really isn't much proof or logic either. So I believe that it's just always been Obito playing a persona. I believe that in another life, Obito would have just became a comedian. Now there aren't many inconsistencies, but there are some moments of the Masked Man that kind of throw us off a bit about his true identity being Obito. The first one is when the Masked Man makes his debut. After Sasori's death, Zetsu and Tobi are looking for his ring, and based on their interaction, Tobi pretends to be an unknown with intentions of joining the Akatsuki, and Zetsu even treats him as an outsider. Now both of them are in an abandoned cave, so logically there's no reason for them to play this part, as Zetsu knows pretty well who Obito is. There's only a few reasons that I could think of. The first being that they are paranoid that someone else might be around, maybe Deidara, and are being extra careful by keeping up appearances and personas. The second, which is one I mentioned earlier in this video, is that this is not Obito and his Swirly Zetsu pretending to be Obito, which would make this interaction completely unnecessary, since like I said, both white and black Zetsu are fully aware of who the Masked Man is, so there'd be no need for the formality of recruiting Swirly Zetsu in place of Obito. Now I believe the third and most likely reason is to throw off the reader from thinking that this Masked Man is in any way significant to the Akatsuki, or basically a retcon. Another feature of his character that throws us off from him being Obito is his Madara persona, and he actually does such a good job at it that he convinces most of the cast that he's Madara Uchiha, even though everyone logically believes that Madara should have been dead a long time ago. Now him speaking in Madara's voice, even monologuing with it, and rocking Madara's hairstyle for a bit may have helped fool some people, but he also does a pretty good job fooling the readers as well, with how familiar he is with Madara's backstory, the Warring States era, the Uchiha versus the Senju, the tragic loss of his last brother Izuna Uchiha, and of course his rivalry with the first Hokage Hashirama Senju. His memories also seem pretty accurate, and he's also able to remember some facts that you'd think only Madara, not Obito, knew. Like, how is he able to recognize that Naruto shared Mito Uzumaki's ability to sense negative energy? I really can't figure out how Obito would know that. You can probably make the argument that Madara taught Obito all of this stuff, but I guess that would have had to have taken place off screen, since we only see him teach Obito about the infinite Tsukuyomi and Yin Yang release. His involvement in the Uchiha clan massacre also attributes to the fact that he may be Madara, since Madara was shunned by the Uchiha clan and would have wanted revenge. But we know that Obito only participated in taking out the Uchiha police force. Plus, after getting on with Madara's plan, Obito couldn't care less about the real world and probably saw this as an opportunity to collect Sharingan and recruit Itachi into the Akatsuki. So while none of this really disproves that he's Obito, it definitely sells the Madara identity more. Now let me go over all of the features that, in hindsight at least, do give us an idea that he's Obito Uchiha. First off, Tobi makes his debut after the Kakashi Gaiden chapters, in which Obito was supposedly left for dead after giving Kakashi his left Sharingan. And the first time Tobi reveals his eye, he reveals only one Sharingan, that being his right eye. That, coupled with the fact that he has short hair, kinda makes it seem like he could be Obito Uchiha, and I believe that this exact thought may have crossed Kakashi's mind as he's freaking out at the fact that he has a Sharingan. Now when he fights Konan, it is revealed that he has another Sharingan behind his mask, but we do get a brief look into his lair, which has a collection of Sharingan, and knowing that he was involved in the Uchiha clan massacre, it doesn't necessarily prove that he's Obito, but it doesn't disprove it either. He also reveals his face to Sasuke, and although it's brief, we can clearly see a lot of scarring, which could be caused by the cave that collapsed on him during the Third War. He also shows that he has a prosthetic arm, which lends credence to the idea that he's Obito, since he couldn't have left the cave unscathed. Now something crazy I found is that Obito actually reveals his true voice, not his Madara voice, but his real voice twice in the anime while he's pretending to be Tobi. During the Three Tails anime filler arc,
well, looky here,
and the other while explaining Deidara's C4.
a fearsome jutsu indeed.
Now I don't think it's as apparent in the original Japanese voice, but it's crazy to think how early Obito's voice was revealed. And this would show that he was pretending to be Tobi this entire time. Overall, I would say that the Masked Man was most likely always meant to be Obito Uchiha, since Obito's character is introduced shortly before Tobi's debut, with the only real inconsistency being his first interaction with Zetsu, which like I said could just be staged. His Madara identity does throw us off a bit. Even then he lacks any proof, and the only features alluding to him being actually Madara are his memories. And since he's been rescued by Madara, it's not unreasonable to assume that Madara had given Obito some details about his life. Him having a spare Sharingan is because he helped wipe out the Uchiha. Him playing the fool is to pretend to be insignificant within the Akatsuki, and him obsessing over Hashirama Senju is because he's just that good of an actor and wanted to play Madara flawlessly. This is really all that I could think of when it came to whether or not Tobi was always meant to be Madara. If you guys think there's something that I missed, then please do let me know in the comments. But I think I'm done for today. Subscribe to my channel and leave a like, and I'll see you next time.